You are looking live. I am Rob Helmick in Daytona Beach, Florida. And today I'm going to be talking to you about 0dte AI robot trades. That's right, 0dte robot trades. My wife and I, Maria, have been trading together for over 2,100 straight days. And starting on October 1st, about 123 trading days ago, we started a $1 million account and a $30,000 account online, and we've been showing you every single day. We gave AI $1 million to trade 0dte SPX options every single day. It has traded about 150 of them every single day, about 18,000 trades. AI has traded 18,000 trades in 122 days. I'm going to show you what the results are. And not only that, I'm going to show you in a few minutes, I'm going to show you the exact trades that AI has told us to put on this week in both the $30,000 account and the $1 million account. Let's get started. Let's start off by going directly to my real personal account. Here it is right here. And these are what we call the crazy. I trade two different strategies, the Crazy Ivan and the 0dte SPX. And these are the Crazy Ivans. So we'll see these going on live in just a few minutes. Right now, the time, let's see if I can get a time check here. I'm going to close this down and I get a time check and it is 5:50. So we got 1 minute till the open. And you know what? Boom, there is a poll for today. The poll question for today, if you come here Monday through Friday at 325, you get to choose whether or not I buy a $600, sell a $600 put credit spread or $600 call credit spread. You get to spend my money. And it's a lot of fun right now. You guys are up $5,400. Thank you very much. And you're 11-5 in those trades. And we are going to keep it up this week. We had the best week ever. Last week, we made $107,000. I don't want to preview what here's Phil. Get a Phil. Phil, you ever heard that? This is Phil, our AI robot. All right, who's in the chat room? This is a safe space. Everybody can speak freely. We got 18 seconds till we open. I see a Mario, Carson, Megan, E-Man, Peace Out Planet, Albacore, Jeff Hart, Mr. Flawless, and Maria Helmick is in there, my beautiful wife, trading all day today, or all night tonight, I am sure. So here we go. Let's take a look-see at this market and see where it opens. And boom, it is opened down. Everybody that had the down on their card is a winner. I don't know why we didn't get a bell. That's kind of frustrating. So this is a collaborative effort. As people that are longtime viewers know that from time to time, my sound does stop. Some people view that as a good thing. Some people not. If it does go down, let me know. I'm going to try and move this over here so I can keep an eye on it. Okay, so look at this bad boy go down. Now, if we get a down move of, see this over here, if we get a down move here, we're down 180 points, 180 points. That's the Qs. If that goes down 300, then what I'm going to do is come in here and I'm probably going to trade some of these. I'm supposed to take these off at 25% profit, and I've been very greedy. Look at this, 45, 48. These I put on at 45 to 60 days. I put them on at 12 delta. And I take them off at 25% profit. It takes normally about 14 days. It takes $14,500 in buying power, and I get about $4,000 in credit, so I'll make $1,000 each. The game is to make, if you do 26 of them, you make 26 grand on 14 grand, so you make, almost 200% profit. But if some of them, you have to roll them down and out and whatnot, and you're going to lose a few of them, and so you're going to get down to 100% profit. Last year, it was, I think, right around 100%. We were 52% all overall because I was doing some other things. So you have 7,000 SQ. So let's see what we got. Everyone's saying hello. Look forward to Rob and Maria, a fellow bot trader from New York. Oh, great. Maria is from Brooklyn. You don't have to ask for that. She is happy to tell you that. Game Dev chat, haven't traded futures yet. I got to tell you, Game Dev, once you do, it's addicting. It is extremely addicting. Let's take a look at that chart again. Now we're only down 167. So people that have watched the show will know that what I often do when I go to bed is I pray, oh, Lord, please take care of Maria. Please take care of our dog, Barbie. And then please let the account go down, let the market go down 500 points in the Qs. And everything I talk about is Q-based, right? Let the NQs go down 500 points so that Maria and I can sell more puts and make more money. That is our game. That's our primary game. And we only use 30% of our buying power to do that. And so that's why I started doing SPX. I was trying to find a way to make an auxiliary income. And so here you go. You can see this is so simple. I just go to, this is my Tasty Trade, my personal account. I will just go out here 54 days because that's between 45 and 60. I will go to 12 Delta. And if we were down 300 points, I would not go to this one. See this one. First of all, look at these frickin' thieves, these frickin' market makers. Look at the spread between 100 and 317. Are you kidding me? The spread should be 4 points, not 200 points. These guys, you got to watch these people like hawks because they will take our money. And what we want to do, we understand we're the little guys, right? We just want to get in, get our money, get the heck out of there, right? That's what we want to do. So I don't trade on the 200s. I trade on the 250s, the 500s, the 750s, and the 1000s. So I would trade it here. Still, these guys are crooks, and I will wait until, if there's any market makers out there, I apologize, but you are a crook. I mean, they're just crooks, a straight up crook. I mean, it's absolute thievery to say that the spread's between 103 and 321. You'll never get me off of that position. That's just what it is. Okay. So let's take a look. Haven't traded futures. Hi, Rob and Maria. There's Eric in there as well. All right, let's go to the Sunday show here. And I want to take a look at what we're doing. Will the market be up or down this week? That is the poll question. And what are the answers right now? So far, 21 votes. And, 50-50. How about that? 22 votes, 50-50. Now, I know there's more people out there in the chat room. Please come in and join us. Now, in a few minutes, I'm going to give you the trade. Not all the trades, all right? Because first of all, in this, we have the $30,000 account, which started at $30,000 buying power, and it's buying power, okay? The $1 million account's $1 million buying power. That's where we started. And I want you to understand that I run a system, right? I just run a system that runs trades. That's all I do. I don't predict. My edge is 100% based on structure, okay? It's not prediction at all. So I want you to think about always risk. What is the maximum amount of money that I'm willing to lose, and divide that by 100, and that's the risk that you should take in any one day. I don't want you risking a lot. I never risk more than 30% on the Crazy Ivans because when you're doing those naked puts, it's not unheard of for them to double and sometimes triple your buying power requirement, and you don't want to get that phone call from Tasty Trade or Schwab or IBKR where they say, hey, Rob, we need $2 million and you got 30 minutes. I've had that call. And I don't ever want to do that again. And that's when I used to trade at 16, 70% buying power. Don't do that anymore. All right. So I'll be putting on around in that. I don't want to tell you how high we are. Okay. So let's talk about it. There it is. Okay. So we are up $575,000 in the $1 million account in 122 days. The account balance is, someone said the other day, well, if it's at 575 and you start at $1 million, you're down 500,000. I said, no, I misspoke. Our account balance is 1.575, and so we're up 575,000, a little over 50% in 122 trading days. Now, there's 250 trading days in a year, but there are some days we didn't trade, right? So do you plan to trade on the deadline day Trump gave Iran? Mr. Flaws says, I trade every day except for when Powell's the head of the FOMC. I backtest over 7 million this weekend. I think I backtested 9 million trades. And I then feed all those trades into AI. AI gives me back the top 200. I then manage those myself. I put them back into AI to look for risk tolerance and buying power and that kind of thing. And then it kicks back to top 150. And then I put those 150 on with robots. I do no trading whatsoever during the week. All my work is done on the weekends. My work is now finished. I've been up. I think I worked 10 hours yesterday and maybe 8 hours today. But a lot of it was also spent on this presentation. So, all right, let's take a look and see where we are. So, boom, the big result. I did that myself here. So, let's see here. Where are we? Okay, so our daily engine, we're making about $4,700 per day in that $1 million of buying power, and it's now 1.5 million. So tomorrow I'll be putting on 1.5 million in 0dte SPX. Can you imagine? I'm putting on $1.5 million with a robot, having nothing to do with it myself whatsoever. I will be out on the beach. We live on the beach in Daytona Beach. I'll be out surfing. If it's not that nice a day, then I'll be out swimming. That's what I'm planning on doing all day. What happened on Friday that gave the account a record day? What happened there, Albacore, was it was just a nice smooth day. It wasn't real jumpy. It was in the morning, but not in the afternoon. I'll go over that in just a second. So now, as of today, last week, you might remember we had 60% or something. I think it was like that, 59. We've had 57% winning days, so 57 to 43. We're profitable every month. Our max drawdown is 5.4%. My personal limit on that is 10. I cannot take more than a 10% drawdown. Your mileage may vary what you like to and can live with. My risk efficiency, I have a Sharpe ratio of 3.28 in the $1 million account. And you might say, well, Rob, what is a Sharpe ratio? Is that good or bad? I'm glad you asked. So here's what it is. A Sharpe ratio is something where quants and funds, they measure the risk reward of your fund, right? And so they look at lots of different factors, and the Sharpe ratio is really critical for most major, $100 million investors and up. Now, I was an attorney, and I also started an internet company that was the largest online education company in the world, and took that company public in 1989. And so I spent a lot of time dealing with finance, and I had a couple billionaires on my board, including J.B. Pritzker, now governor of Illinois. And we raised millions, hundreds of millions of dollars as a result of that particular product. And one of the things they always wanted to talk about was the Sharpe ratio. So I'm very familiar. My background is as a mathematician. I used to spend a lot of time in casinos, but I was not a gambler. I was strictly a mathematician, just looking for an edge. The reason I switched from math in a casino to math in the stock market is the stock market's much more efficient. It's much, much easier to work with and to get a mathematical advantage. The mathematical advantage in the stock market is tremendous. When in a casino, I would get maybe 0.5% at mathematical advantage. And as you can see here, right, we were getting a much better mathematical advantage than that. So it's really critical that I, move from the casino into the stock market. It just made more sense. So our longest losing streak, for those of you who want to know, is 5 days. I don't care about losing streaks because I know that over time we're going to win. Our edge in the trades is 59.7%, right? So I know that if I do enough trades, I'm going to win. It's like if you play blackjack and you have certain rules, you're going to win 0.5%, right? That's what you're going to win. However, now in this one, I'm winning 9.7% of the time, right? Actually the spread is even greater. So it's a huge advantage when you're in the stock market and trading options, as long as you understand exactly which trades to make, and you're making the top 150 out of 7 million or 9 million trades. That's just the game. We just look for an edge every single week. So some people ask me, what is the compound annual growth rate that we use? This is how we calculate it. We're at 140. I'm not sure that's accurate for this month. It might actually be higher than that. Quick note before we go any further. Commercial. I drank iced tea. I can't say the name. With lemon, with fake sugar, and with apple cider vinegar. I have for 40 years. Sometimes I get a little parched when I'm talking. So that's the end of our commercial. And our lawyers want me to tell you that this is for entertainment purposes only. This is for educational purposes only. Do not follow us. You can and will lose all of your money if you follow what I do. So I've said it. This is just for you to follow along. Let's go back to our regularly scheduled program. Here we go. Okay. And by the way, the market is now down 230 points. Ooh, we're getting there. We're getting there where we like it. All right. So here is the $30,000 account. You can see it's pretty straightforward. I wish I could get my little arrow to work there. Here's the big account, the $1 million account. And you can see pretty straightforward. We had some ups and downs. People panic when it goes down. I never worry about it. I don't think about how we won or how we did in the last day or last week or even last month. I look at the big picture. My dad was president of the United States Olympic Committee and head of the International Olympic Committee for the United States and head of all water sports for the world. He put George Steinbrenner on the U.S. Olympic Committee, and we went to his box one time to watch the game. And he taught me something very important about trading. I said to him, Mr. Steinbrenner, I called him Mr. Steinbrenner. I said, I bet you hope that guy gets a hit, right? The batter. And he said, no, Rob, I don't. I don't care if he gets a hit. And in fact, I don't care if we win this game. And I don't care if the Red Sox beat us every single game of the season. I worry about one thing and one thing only, that ring, that World Series ring. That's all I focus on morning, noon, and night, 25 hours a day. If you want to succeed in life, young man, he called me young man. He actually called me son. He said, if you want to succeed in life, son, You need to decide what's important to you, and you need to focus just on that. So no, I don't care if this guy gets a hit. I don't care if we win. What I do care is that we win the World Series. So when I look at this chart, I think of Mr. Steinbrenner, and I say to myself, wow, he's right. We don't need to take a look at, it's important. Sure, of course, I like it when we win during the day. Absolutely. But if you watch my show Monday through Friday at 3:25, shameless plug, you're going to find out that I get more excited. I get more excited about the $600 trade that the chat room puts on than my winnings. I think I had the biggest winning day on Friday since October 1st, about 51 grand in the 0dte's. And I was more excited about that than I was more excited about the $600 that we won in the trade. As a matter of fact, I think we won $1,200 if I'm not mistaken, or something like that in the literally last 10 seconds. It was crazy. So, okay. So $30,000 account up 16,000 in about, let's call it 6 months, 50% in 6 months, 100% rate of return. And then the big account, 575,000. So a little over 50% in 6 months. So, more than 100% rate of return. Great. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And that's what we expect to get. And that's exactly what we're getting. So just to give you an idea, we've never had a down month. We did have almost a down month here. And we had a less than ideal month in February. We were down a lot in February and had a nice comeback right there at the end. So here we are weekly, and you can see where we have had 3 weeks in a row where we've had down weeks. But then it came back in a huge way, and all of them were relatively small. You can see the really small numbers on the downside. And this gives you an idea of, here's the weekly trades, right? The greens and reds, the ups and down. And then here's the account. And you can see how it moves really, up and to the right, up and to the right. And that's what we want. That's the whole game here. Okay. So the way that we back test is I look at entry times. There's 390 entry times in a day. I look at 10 premiums. So there might be, your target premium might be $1, $2, $1.50, $1.75, $2.25, $3, whatever heck it is. I do multiple entry condor and exponential moving averages. And I understand a lot of you are going to be drinking from a fire hose here. That's fine. Just go back and look at our channel. We got a 5-part series. It's about 40 minutes long. It goes into excruciatingly boring detail about each and every single one of these items. And if you ask me questions in the chat room, I'll be absolutely thrilled to answer your questions. Okay. We have different stop losses. So we might have 95%, 100%, 125, 150, 175, 200, 300, 400, 700, 1200, whatever it might be. We have wing widths that vary. I think our smallest is 10 and our biggest is 150 or 200, but 10 of those. And then we have different, right now, all our profit targets are set at 0. So if we had actually back tested all those combinations, it would be around 98 million trades on every single weekend. So we narrow that down to 7 and 9 million trades. And we still, we could do different exponential moving averages. We could do open range breakout. We could do double calendars. We could do reverse iron condors. So we could do a lot more and get millions and millions and millions of trades. Okay. So here are the trades. Now, this is in the small account, the $30,000 account. I'm giving you these by time. Here is the code, the secret code. This is $1 million worth of information you're getting absolutely free. Okay. A lot of people said I should charge for this, but so far I haven't. I might someday. You never know. So our profit target is $3. Our premium target is $3 on this. Wish I could get this mouse to come in. There, $3 on the first one. It's a multiple entry iron condor, 95% stop loss, $50 wing. Notice in the small account, they're all $50 wings. They're all 95% stop loss. They're all multiple entry iron condors. I'm trying to make it simple for you. Okay. They are different times. Notice that we have 2 of them at 1022. Okay. And these are going to cost you about $5,000. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's $40,000 worth of buying power. So this assumes that you've had that $30,000 account and that you've gotten the profit along with this. Okay. Now, a couple of things. When I say $3 for the profit target, that's on the short put and on the short call, independent of each other. So you're going to look for $3 as a profit target on the short put, $3 is a profit target on the short call. You're going to then buy the 50 wide wing or a nickel, whichever one comes first. Whether 50 wide or a nickel, whichever one comes first. And some multiple entry iron condor. I use robots because I want them to go on at the same time. I put on a put credit spread and a call credit spread separately. I do not put them on as an iron condor. There's lots of reasons for that. Just trust me. This is why you can make a lot more money. The devil's in the details, right? We have a mathematical advantage over our competitors, and that's what they are. We're not playing with the market. We don't care about what Trump says. We don't care about the FMOC. We don't care about earnings. We don't care about the CPI or the BBI or the NLQ or some other three-letter thing. We don't care about any of that. We are just betting. We're not gambling. We're betting. And we're issuing insurance. These people are buying puts and calls, and we're selling them. That's all we do is sell the premium, and we have a mathematical advantage. We sell them for more than they're worth. They want the protection, and they're willing to overpay. And that's the game, okay? That's the game. So then all we do is we look back, and we say over the last 6 months, where were most of the people selling premium, and we just want to sell somewhere else. So if most of them are selling here, we sell here. They were selling for $1 over here. We can sell for $1.25 over here because we're one among the much fewer sellers, right? Fewer sellers, you get more price when you sell something. Simple economics, simple math. That's all we are, is looking for a mathematical advantage, and we're using the stop losses to be our risk management. That is the game. You want to do as many of these as you can because you don't know whether or not the ones that went in the last 6 months are, the top 25, top 200. Are they going to be in the top 200 this week? Probably not. They might be in the top 100,000 though, which would be more than enough statistical advantage. They might be in the top million. They might be in the top 2 million. That would still give us a great statistical advantage. This is all math. This is one giant math problem. My whole life has been based on math. Everything I've ever done has been based, other than my internet company, which is based on trying to teach people. But even that was based on math, right? Because the idea was we could take on an extra student. It would cost us about $1, and we could charge the college $20. And it turns out that's pretty profitable. Okay, so next, let's talk about by doing it by P&L. The most profitable trade goes on right at noon. It's $2.25. Again, multiple entry iron condor, 95% stop loss, $50 wing. Now let's go to the big account, right? The $1 million account. I used to give out 25 or 30 of these trades. Then I gave out 15 or 20. And now I'm down to like 10, right? Because I'm getting tired of giving you guys fish every month. I'd like to teach you how to fish. And I got to come up with some way to do a better job of that because I'm not going to be around here forever. And it would be great if you guys could do this on your own. And there's some legal liabilities of me telling you what to do, which I don't want to do. And I'm not telling you what to do. This is just what we're going to do. So when you get back to the 6 trades a day, and you can see it's 8, these are the trades we're actually going to put on every single day for the next 5 days. Now, these are among the top 120 trades I'm going to put on in the $1 million account. Okay. Again, by P&L, the most profitable one, 225. Notice that we've got a couple exponential moving averages in here. Notice that the stop losses are different, but the wing width is always the same. Profit target is always the same, right? So that is the game. Let's see what kind of questions we have here. What happened on Friday that gave the account a record day? That is pretty straightforward. The way that multiple entry and condors work is that you have a call credit spread and a put credit spread, and you just want the market to stay in the middle, right? If it goes one way, then it punches out these. If it goes the other way, it punches out these. You can still win. If this one gets punched out, you still win on this one, and you're 50-50. Or if it's 95%, you're up a little about 5%. Or if it's 200%, you're just down a little bit. But the idea is it averages out. And as long as the market keeps moving in one direction, it doesn't matter because we're always putting on new ones, right? So we're following up or down. Exponential moving average says, geez, over the last 20 minutes, if it's been going up or compared to the last 40 minutes, then we want to sell down here, right? Because it's got some momentum to the upside. It's got to have to roll over and come all the way down to us. That's the same likewise. If the market's been going down, then we want to sell them up here because it would have to turn around and come all the way back up to punch us out. Again, we're just looking for a mathematical advantage. That's all we're doing. And the way we do that is by back testing. And then we just want a robot because we don't want to think. We don't want to blink. We don't want to say, oh, I feel something. We don't care about your feelings. We are robots. I am a robot. This is Phil. You ever heard me say, take a Phil, Phil? In the middle of the day, I'll yell at the robot, take a Phil, Phil, get a Phil, Phil. Come on, Phil, get a Phil. That's Phil. Phil's my robot. And all Phil does is trade. He doesn't think. He doesn't blink. He doesn't care what Trump says. He doesn't care about Iran. He doesn't care about Amazon's earnings, none of that. Phil just puts them on and let it ride. And if it hits a stop loss, Phil takes them off. And People say, well, blah, blah, blah. How about that and this, that, and the other thing? How come you can't win? Blah, 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 blah. What's your favorite graph, Rob? I'll tell you my favorite graph. Bam, right there. Okay, great. You tell me it doesn't work? How about 18,439 trades? How about that? How about $575,000 on $1 million? How about that? Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it shouldn't work. Maybe other mathematicians will tell you, well, that's crazy, blah, 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 blah. Good enough for me. Good enough for me. And beware anyone that tells you, have I got a trade for you? You got a trade for me? Tell me about your trade. Oh, this is a trade I've been putting it on for years. Really? How many years? 10 years I've been putting this trade on. How often you put it on? Every day. Oh, every day. That's 250 trades a year for 10 years. That's 2,500 times. That's great. How many times does it win? Oh, 70% winning. What's the Sharpe ratio? Don't know what Sharpe ratio is. What's your Sortino ratio? Don't know. Okay, what's your MAR ratio? Because I got a guy that I know, Rob Helmick, and he does 7 million trades, and he looks at profit and loss, compound annual growth rate, max drawdown, MAR, Sharpe, Cortino, and he looks at 7 million trades every single weekend. As one of the 3 top people at Tasty Trade told me in confidence the other day. I was watching your video, Rob, don't tell anybody, but I was watching your video, and I thought about that 7 million trades that you look at every week. That's more trades than I made in my lifetime. And I traded on the floor for 25 years, and I don't remember 3 of them. And your AI remembers all of them, and you're doing it every week. I said, yeah, man, I have a statistical advantage. I'm not smarter than anybody else. I just got more information. So when now someone else comes to you and say, have I got a trade for you? Maybe their trade is way better than the trades I'm doing. Maybe. It's certainly possible, but it's not probable because they haven't tested it. They haven't put it through a strict analysis to see what happens over time. It's like flipping a coin, right? If you flip the coin 4 times in a row, what's the chances it's going to come up on the 5th time heads? 50-50. If you flipped it 1,000 times in a row, it came up 1,000 times heads, what's the chance it's going to come up tails the next time? 50-50. And if you do it 10, my grandpa used to say, Rob, if I flipped it 10,000 times in a row, I said, Grandpa, if I flipped this coin 10,000 times in a row, Grandpa, and it came up heads, what's the chances of it coming up tails? And my grandpa looked at me, the chances are that you rigged the coin. That's what the chances are. But the chances are still 50-50. So once you understand statistics, once you understand mathematics, and you can find an edge, just beat the hell out of that edge. That's all we're doing. And the more trades you can do, bet as small as you possibly can and as often as you possibly can when you have that advantage. All right, let's take a look. See, by the way, these are just what they call thumbnails for the videos that we have. All right, let's see what we've got here. You have $7,000 SQ, so good to see. Yes, haven't traded futures yet. Let's rip the market makers a new one. Yeah, I agree. Let's see what the bots do. You plan to trade on the deadline date? No, I do not. I plan to trade on every day. I trade every single day. The bots don't care. Neither do I. We have a mathematical advantage. The more the VIX goes up, which is VIX just measures fear, I love it. One of the reasons I love it when the market goes down, VIX goes up, fear goes up. So things that I'm selling for $1 today, I can sell for $2 tomorrow. The exact same thing with very little increased risk. In fact, what I love about Trump, forget about the politics. I'm indifferent on the politics but what's great is that he puts the fear of God into the market, right? But a lot of times he doesn't do anything. So you get way overpaid for perceived risk. It's not true risk, it's perceived risk. The perceived risk is exponentially more than when Biden was president. When Biden was president, he never did anything, right? He never did anything. He never said anything. Again, I'm not political. He never did anything. He never said anything. So nobody was scared. So I was selling stuff for 50 cents that I used to sell for $1. And that was a bummer. But man, now we are selling like crazy for huge amounts of money. And it's up and down and up and down and up and down, which I love. All right. What happened on Friday? You know, what happened on Friday was we were down, I think it was down 10, 11 grand by 11 o'clock in the morning because somebody said something tweet and then nothing for the rest of the day. And I think the deadline was sometime in the future. And so lots of VIX, huge premium was being captured. And there was no movement in the market. It just went right down the pipe, right between them. And it's great. Easy money. meltdown on permanent. That's what happened. Yeah, meltdown on premium. Yep. I keep my max drawdown at 5%. That's great. Max drawdown 5% is great. I'm not quite that good. It's about 5.7. But I take a little more risk, right? So I probably am more risk tolerant than most people, just because of the base on the amount of that I'm willing to lose. And it gives me a mathematical advantage, right? With the SPX, you want a steady flow either up or down, and the major chop that kills the SPX, plus the VIX was up, so that helps the chop. That's exactly right. Market makers are not crooks. Anyone can put an offer into the market if you don't like the bid or ask. You know what, GJK? You're right. I was being humorous, and I guess it kind of landed as a dud. They're absolutely not crooks. I know a lot of market makers. They're all great guys. They don't care about you or me. They don't know anything about the trades. All they really want to do is make a nickel. That's all they want to do is make a nickel on every trade. It just aggravates me when I go over here and I see these spreads. Look at this. Now these spreads are down to 28, right? So wasn't this spread a couple $100 or something like that when we started today? And now it's getting down there. Now we're only down 166. So unfortunately, this market's coming back, which is a shame. So if I probably could have hit it down there, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. So, okay, let's see what else we got here. Great to see you have 3+ sharp ratio. Mine is hardly at 1.82. Still, there's nothing wrong with that. When do I start placing the trades? Whenever the robot tells me. This week, what was the number? 947, I think it was. But we back test from 932 all the way to 1501. I put on a trade every day in our shameless plug here on a Monday through Friday show. Maria's here for sure every Friday and a couple other days a week. And what we do is we let the chat room decide what we're going to put on a put credit spread, call credit spread, or both at 1551. So that way you can see what happens in the last 9 minutes. You know, people tell you you can't win in the last 9 minutes. They're full of hooey. People tell you can't win in the last hour. They're full of hooey. You can't, the power hour is the best time. That's not true. They tell you Thursday is the worst day. Hey, by the way, it's the Easter colors. Happy Easter. Got my Easter tie on today. Always dress for the job that you want. And I want a job where I don't have to wear a suit. That's what I want. Swimsuit. That's what I want. That's why I like going swimming and surfing every day. When do I start placing the trade? So I start placing them at 9:32 in the morning or whenever the robot says. What's the ratio of tea to apple cider vinegar? I only use a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Maria takes 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and 2 tablespoons of lemonade. And God bless her. I don't know how she does it. Sometimes she drinks that stuff straight. It is nasty that way. No one can call to the minute when an optional trade will occur tomorrow. That is correct, DJK. You absolutely cannot predict that. That's why what we do is we look at 7 million back tests, 7 million trades, and then what we do is we identify the top 250, then we whittle it down to the top 125, and we go ahead and place those on with the understanding that we hope that they're going to be positive expected value, right? That's the game. That's the game. And I get people all the time that say, well, it's not possible to predict. No, it's not. I'm not trying to predict. I'm just trying to find where I'm going to get overpaid for my risk, right? And favorite chart. I love this chart. This is my favorite chart. Here's one too. Here's another one. I love all these charts. Look at this. Even in a small account. No, I can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow. But I tell you this, if you trade the way I do, it does turn out to be pretty profitable. It does work. So how does the robot select the call credit spread and PKC credit based off the premium? Yes. It is a premium base. We don't use delta. We let the market decide. And so that's why you saw my premium targets were all dollar figures. And that's a great question. Hey, there's a new player there. TCO. I'm probably mispronouncing all these names. And I apologize. E-Man, Albacore, Game Dev, Chad. Here we go. Selling both put and credit spreads doesn't have to be optimal to win. There is a smaller maximum payoff and different risk profile, but they have a good win rate. That's right. What is the MAR ratio? The MAR ratio is all over the place. I used to never trade anything under a 6 MAR ratio. Now probably under a 10. I would not look at in a 150 wide. In a 50 wide, you're going to probably go down to about 6. That's where you're going to be, somewhere in that range. Still pretty good. Still pretty good. Seems the strat is partially open. The straight is partially open. Honestly, I don't know. I will tell you, I'm a terrible American. When it comes to geography, I'm a nut job. I didn't know about the Strait of Hormuz. It's only 21 miles wide. I mean, I did see an interesting story that a lot of these countries are saying, well, to heck with this. Why fight it? We'll just build a pipe or a road and ship it in trucks or just ship it in a pipeline. I'll just go around it, right? Just go around it. Then we don't have to deal with these cats. And if they want to get money, for going through the Strait of Hormuz, we just won't go through the Strait of Hormuz. We'll go somewhere else. Okay. That makes sense. We don't get much oil from there. The problem is, of course, that oil is in everything that we do here in this country. It drives everything. And the problem is that if the oil price goes up in other countries, they want to buy our oil. But we got more oil than we know what to do with. So, it's a little bit, once you get into it, I was kind of like, huh? What? Wait a minute. This is not, is that really a big worry? I'm not sure that it is. I'm not sure it is. Okay. So what's our poll say? I think we're just about done, right? Down, no doubt. Up for sure, 59%. I'm going to take it into this poll. Any other questions? If there are no other questions, I think we got it, right? Let me go over these. Let me just give you these trades one more time just to make sure everybody's got them. You can always go back, right? But here they are by time for the small account. Here they are by P&L. Here are the ones I'm going to be putting on in the large account with another 120 or so. And here they are by P&L. These are not the top ones. They're in the mix somewhere. I took the top 20 and arbitrarily did it. But with the small account people, I'm more concerned a bit. Don't follow me. I know, but I know there are people that do. So, okay. Which of your YouTube playlists do you learn your system? It is called, somebody help me. You know what? Here. That's what it looks like. Look for that. That's chapter 2, backtesting methodology. And there's 5 chapters. Look for that colored one like that. There is one that's black. That's all 5 of them together, and they're all in the same playlist. I think it's there. Look, there's another one. That's the YouTube that you're looking for that tells you all about it. Gil B, that's a new person. D Gaz, seems the Strait is partially open. That's great. I love having all these new people in it. Hey, look, I don't ask for any payment. Would you please go to any video, even this video? And hey, by the way, if you're going to win this week, give me a W. Give me a W in the chat room before we go. Give me a W. I want to feel some W's. If you're going to win this week, hit me with that W. How do you do? I don't know how to do gang. They won't let me in a gang because I can't do the signs. W. Who's got a W? Who's got a W? Is it 6:15? Oh, we're past it. Well, I guess it was down. Give me a W. Give me a W, and we'll call it a day. Can I get some W's? Here's a W. Here they come. Here they come. Look at all these people that haven't said anything. I love it. Peace out, Planet Dave Man, Switzer, Albacore, Brandon Krabby, Gil 8. Maria's in there for the W. Oh, boy. Here we go. Game Dev Chad. Nice. I love it. We are going to go get them again. Please go to any other video or this video. Just hit W. The silly YouTube algorithm loves it. Say AI trades or something like that. And they love that. They eat it up and they hit 3 W's. Yeah, W. That's pretty funny, DJS. That's pretty funny. All right. Anybody else? Anything? Oh, then we got to end the poll. There's a poll at the ended. And look at that. Down, no doubt. And they were right. You guys were right. Still only down 180. If it was down 300, I would go ahead and trade, but I'm not going to do that. So, all right, guys. Thank you, guys and gals. Thank you. Look at all these W's are coming in here. Tim and Drew, Carson Hart, Kyle. I haven't seen anybody. And a lot of you guys more than welcome to talk. Just say hello. Ask me what my favorite movie is. By the way, Fifth Element obviously is going to be the answer. Everyone knows that. Or Casablanca. Maria will never let me watch the same movie twice. I have to sneak around when she goes to sleep. I watch Casablanca over and over again and Fifth Element. So, all right. Any other? My life is really an open book. How much vinegar goes into that iced tea? Most people would say too much. I use about 2 tablespoons, and this is a big thing. I drink 5 of these a day. Not iced tea, apple cider vinegar only goes in at once. And I'll drink 5 of these a day typically. If it's cold, I'd say cold, below 65, then I'll drink green tea. But I love this kind of tea. Yeah, Maria's right. Good luck and have most fun. Have trading. Bye-bye. I'm going to go upstairs, and Maria's got some crazy Italian chicken dinner. I cannot wait. It's fantastic. We're going to go out of here in 3, 2, 1.